95% of plastic packaging material is discarded worldwide every year after just one use. 32% escapes collection, ending up in vital natural systems or else clogging urban infrastructure. Singapore is now looking to harness the value in plastic waste. For more, we're joined by Jacob Duer. He's CEO and president of the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. Good evening, Jacob. We've seen more organizations and ground-up groups coming forward. They want to push for a reduction of single-use plastics. But has the plastic waste situation seen any improvements after all these efforts?
Indeed, we have seen over the last few years that a number of new initiatives have emerged everywhere at the national, regional and global level to address the issue of plastic and plastic waste. And these are initiatives that are ranging from everything from reduction to more efficient use of plastic to reuse to recycling and redesign. But despite all these initiatives, the numbers are still staggering in terms of plastic waste ending up in the environment and in our oceans. And just in 2019, it was estimated that 11 million tons of plastic waste ends up in the environment in our oceans. And if we look into the future, just in 20 years, that's expected to grow threefold to almost 30 million. So action is required even more urgent than ever before. And with the COVID pandemic just around the corner and something that we have been impacted by all over the world, we have seen an even further growth in plastic waste generation. Certain countries are reporting a six-fold growth on the household waste. And just here in Singapore, we have seen over the circuit breaker a growth of more than 1,300 tons of plastic waste generated, mainly due to food deliveries and takeaways and significant increases in both areas. So action is required. Good action has been taken, but we need to do more in order to prevent the further leakage.
Jacob, there is this saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So tell us the value that can be extracted from plastic waste, because we know that not all plastic can be recycled and, that recycling plastic might not be as straightforward as other materials like paper.
Exactly. But if we're looking at the value of the plastic that ends up in the environment today or in open dump sites and landfills or in incineration, that is actually estimated at between $80 and $120 billion. And this is a resource that we do not have to lose to our society. But the reason that it ends up in the environment, not only PET bottles, but also what we call hard to recycle plastic, is often the lack of integrated waste management systems and linked to that lack of recycling facilities. If we're looking at Singapore as an example, a country that generates a large amount of waste, just in Singapore alone, 930,000 tons of plastic waste is generated on an annual basis, and only 4% of that is actually being recycled. What we would like to see, and with the support of the government and being very encouraged by the focus that the government is putting on sustainability in the broader sense, but also on waste management, we want to see how we can build on the very efficient function of waste collection in Singapore, but add the right type of recycling so that we don't lose the value of the plastic that does have value. We want to ensure that we bring that value back into the economy.
So, Jacob, put it into context for us then. How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the plastic waste management industry? What's it going to take for companies in this sector to recover?
We have seen a significant increase in plastic waste generation. And I think there are two things that we want to focus on moving forward. One is obviously we need more action, we need more investment, but also we need more collaboration among all the different actors that are operating in the space of plastic waste management. And by that, we mean we need engagement by governments, we need political commitment, but we also need a stronger engagement by the private sector and industry. And we need to work with civil society and financial institutions. In other words, we need to develop the right public and private partnerships. We need to move from thought leadership and good intentions to action on the ground. The reality today is that 3 billion people on this planet, they do not have access to waste collection systems. And until we get those systems in place, the leakage will continue to happen. moving forward, we need to invest in technology, we need to invest in innovation, and we need to test and trial it. And then ultimately, we need to scale it and bring the technology and the innovation to where we see the real pollution happening.
Jacob, thank you so much for helping us understand the importance of harnessing the value of plastic waste. We've been speaking with Jacob Duer, CEO and President of the Alliance to End Plastic Waste.